everyone. So here am I again with class 7's physics, and we'll be continuing what we have learned last time, that is energy. So we'll be continuing with what we have learned last time. So let us quickly revise what we learned last time. So first we learned work done. What is work done? Work is said to be done when a force applied on an object displaces the object. That means work done depends upon two factors. One is force, the other is displacement. And therefore we have the mathematical expression of work done as W equals to F into D. And from there we form the unit, that is the SI unit of work done is joule. That is Newton meter. But we refer it as joule and not as Newton meter. And then we did some numericals related to work done using the formula W equals to F into D. Then we discussed about energy. So what is energy? Energy is the ability to do a work. That is, it helps us to do work. Now, and then we discussed about different forms of energy. But before that, the SI unit of energy is joule, because work done and energy are correlated. That's why they share the same unit, that is joule. So the SI unit of energy is also joule. And we discussed about other units also, like calories, and I told you calorie is used for a specific energy, that is heat energy. And then we discussed about different forms of energy. The first form that we discussed last time is mechanical energy. And what is mechanical energy? Energy possessed by position or motion, or the motion of an object. And it is categorized into two types. One is kinetic, the other is potential. Kinetic is the energy that deals with the motion of an object. And potential is the energy which deals with the position of an object. Kinetic depends upon two factors. One is mass and velocity. And kinetic energy depends, and the expression for kinetic energy is half mv square. And potential energy also depends upon two factors. One is mass, the other is height. And potential energy, the expression for potential energy is mgh. Now we'll be further continuing with other forms of energy. So first, the one that we discussed last time is mechanical energy. Now we'll be discussing other forms of energy. So we'll be learning different forms of energy. The first form is mechanical energy, which we have learned last time only, and which is subcategorized into two types, that is kinetic and potential. The second form of energy is heat energy. Heat, that you know, we use it in many purposes. We use heat in ovens to prepare many things, your favorite pizza, isn't it? And heat is also used to cook food and many other purposes. So heat is all the energy that we get in the form of heat is heat energy. The third form of heat energy is light energy. It's a broad daylight, we have lights around, we can see light, isn't it? Light is used in many ways. The first and the most important is plants use light to prepare food. And the plants survive, they need food in order to survive, and they do need light. And we depend upon plants directly or indirectly. All the animals depend on plants. So light is also used in solar panels, isn't it? So light is also a form of energy. Another form of energy is sound energy. You can hear me very well, isn't it? Now sound. How is sound produced? Sound is produced by the vibration of particles. You keep quiet. Right now my vocal cords are vibrating, that's why a sound is being produced. Sound is always produced by the vibration of particles. If there is no vibration, no movement, there will be no production of sound. So sound is also a form of energy because work is being done. So, you know, the car horn, there are so many sounds that we hear around, the birds chirping. So there are so many sounds. So sound is also a form of energy. Now another form of energy which is very important and which we use in our day-to-day life very often is electrical energy. You see many things around, isn't it? The appliances that you see, fridges, TV, cell phones, all these are connected with electrical energy. So the most important is the electric bulb, isn't it? If there's no current, there's no electricity, it kind of becomes very suffocating for us because we are very much used to staying in with the light. The sixth form of energy is chemical energy. And this chemical energy are found in atoms or molecules of elements and compounds. So when two or more elements they combine to form a compound, they store energy, and that energy is chemical energy. And when the compound they undergo some reaction, they liberate this, they use this kinetic energy to go through this reaction. That means when they are undergoing some reaction, they are doing some work, isn't it? So when they are doing some work, they need some energy, and that is chemical energy, because that's why chemical energy are also called stored energy, because they are stored in the elements. The fifth form of energy is magnetic energy. Now magnets, you know the purposes of magnet. Magnets are used in electric motors. They are used in cranes to lift, to separate the magnetic waste materials, isn't it? So magnets, they are used in electric motors, which is used in most of the electrical appliances. So magnets or magnetic energy is the seventh form of energy. The last form of energy is atomic or nuclear energy. Now some of the atoms, some of the elements, they have very high atomic number. For example, uranium. Uranium has the atomic number 92, which means they have a lot of number of protons and electrons. So their nucleus would be heavy. So when this heavy unstable element, they want to stabilize themselves, they disintegrate, they break into different nuclei. And when they disintegrate, that means when they break, when they split up into different nuclei to become stable, they release energy. And that energy is atomic or nuclear energy. And this energy is, there are many uses of atomic or nuclear energy, which is used in atomic bomb, hydrogen bomb, even nuclear power plants. So these are the different forms of energy. The first one is mechanical energy. Second one is heat. The third one is light. Fourth, sound. Fifth, electrical. Sixth, chemical. Seventh, magnetic. Eighth, atomic or nuclear. So these are the different forms of energy. Now, as we have already discussed from the conservation of energy, that energy can be transformed from one form to another. They cannot be created nor can they be destroyed. They can be only changed from one form to another. So here we'll be discussing different examples, various examples where one form of energy is converted into another form. The first example that I've chosen over here is when you drop something from a height. For example, I have this eraser. Now if I have to drop it from here, when it's lifted up, which energy does it possess? It possesses potential energy because it's at a certain height from the ground. So when it is at rest, it's not moving right now, it's at a certain position, so it has potential energy. When I drop it, it starts moving down. So when it moves down, it is in motion. So when an object is kept at a height, the change of energy will be from potential to kinetic, because from a height they start in motion. The second example that I've chosen here is washing machine that we have in our day-to-day life. We encounter with it, isn't it? So washing machine, you have to plug your points, and then you have to turn on the machine. So when the machine turns on, first you need electricity, so therefore electrical energy they start moving, they start producing sound, they start working, isn't it? So electrical to mechanical energy. The electric bulb, for the same purpose you have to switch on the light. So when you switch on the lights, electric bulb, the bulb glows. So electric to heat and light. So electric bulb, the electrical energy changes to heat and light. fire. Fire, when you use coal or wood, they have stored energy. As we have already discussed that any element or atoms or molecules, they store energy in the form of chemical energy. So when you burn the coal or wood, so when there is a fire, the chemical energy changes to heat and light, because you can see you feel the heat as well as you see things around you, around that fire, isn't it? That's why light energy. Solar panel, what does solar panel do? They trap light, and those light after being trapped, it's used for various electrical appliances. So light to electrical energy. Then battery that we have, we use for watches, clocks, cell phones. The energy which is in the battery is chemical energy, because they are stored energy. So chemical energy to electrical energy. So these are the various examples where one form of energy is converted to another form. That means chemical changes to electrical in battery. We cannot say chemical is destroyed and electrical has been renewed or originated. Its chemical has changed to electrical. That means only one form of energy changes to another form. They cannot be created nor can they be destroyed. So this is different examples for transformation of energy. Now we'll be discussing about sources of energy. Now where do energies come from, isn't it? So there are two natural sources of energy. The first one is renewable. Renewable means that can be renewed, the energy which can be reused. So renewable sources mean sources which can be reused. Okay, which can, for example, sun. So here we have renewable sources, sun. So you cannot imagine the sun to vanish from your life, isn't it? We cannot imagine that at all. So sun is a very important source of energy. And what is the energy that we get from sun? Solar energy, which is also known as light energy. The other renewable sources are wind. It's a natural form of energy. It's a natural source, wind. And the energy that we get from wind is wind energy. Solar energy, we use solar panels, isn't it? As we discussed, plants, they trap light. Wind also, you've seen wind vanes, windmills, isn't it? So they use wind to create energy. The same way, running water. So running water is also another renewable source of energy. You know, water we use in making hydroelectricity, and energy from biomass. What is biomass? It is the waste materials and dead parts of living bodies. And you know, you've seen it in the villages, we use it as a fuel. And another source of energy is non-renewable source of energy. What do you mean by non-renewable? It means just the opposite of renewable. So non-renewable means sources which cannot be renewed or which cannot be reused. And the two types of non-renewable sources are petroleum and coal that we have discussed here. You know, petroleum and coal, they are formed by the dead and decayed plant matter or zooplanktons, so animals, isn't it? So the dead bodies of plants or animals, they get buried inside the earth, and because of the very much the pressure inside the earth and the heat, they transform into coal and petroleum, but they don't change into coal and petroleum overnight. They take millions of years to form. So that's why they are considered to be non-renewable sources, because they cannot be formed every now and then. So that's why these non-renewable sources have to be preserved. And renewable sources, they are like always there. Most of the time we can be reusing it. That's why there are two types of sources. One is renewable, the other is non-renewable. Renewable, which can be reused, non-renewable, which cannot be reused. And we discussed this, and with this we complete the chapter. And as we complete the chapter, you have your homework here. Your homework is checkpoint page number 62 and the exercise from the textbook. You have to do everything that is there in the textbook. And what you have to do over here is there will be some online tests going around, and sooner or later it will be there. So please pay attention to whatever is being taught, and please make sure that you do all the assignments, because the questions that would be given online would also be from the assignments or assignment that is given, and also from the textbook. So please go through your textbook properly, and if there's any difficulty, anything that you don't understand, please don't hesitate to ask questions. My cell phone would be given, my cell phone number would be given, so you can call me anytime if you have regarding your physics problem or also your math problem for class 7, 7A especially. So please do this homework and assignment properly. Thank you. Stay safe and stay at home.